Yo, what's up, CFO gang? No longer your boy J Tuck, man. It's no longer your boy J Tuck. I've been saying it's your boy J Tuck since I was a young buck on the radio stations here in Kansas City and throughout my entire career, man. But I just had a birthday this past weekend. I can no longer say it's your boy. So I think I've unlocked the Unk mode. But come to find out, I think I've been in Unk mode for quite some time. But it's your favorite Unk, I guess, J Tuck. You know what I'm saying? TikTok calls me Unk. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to be OG. You know what I'm saying? I like OG. It kind of fits me a little bit more. But I think OG is up here. And I'm kind of in that Unk mode, man. But salute to everybody who's watching on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. We got a lot to talk about, man. I see my dog in the building. My dog Boss says, please tell me you got the phones working. I ain't got them working, Boss, but it ain't nothing. It ain't nothing. I can turn the phones on ASAP, and we can definitely have some conversations. But we got some things to talk about, Cowboys Nation. So let everybody know that we are live. TikTok, hit that button, hit that share button. YouTube, y'all know the vibes, man. Like, comment, subscribe. Let everybody know Tuck is back in the building, man. Had a good weekend this past weekend. Was out in Las Vegas. You know what I'm saying? Turn up in Vegas if you saw me on Instagram, man. Had bottles flying, marquees going everywhere. Salute to Las Vegas, man. Everyone out in Vegas treats me well out there, man. Salute to Nia at the LV store. Salute to my concierge and Cameron at MGM Grand and Marquee and Cosmopolitan. Like, they made sure I had a great time out there in Las Vegas. So I am recovered, man. I know a lot has been going on when it comes to Cowboys Nation. To be honest, I ain't been paying attention, man. I ain't been paying attention to much. I was out there. It was nice to kind of get away. But, I'm always working in some capacity. So, pretty much Sunday night, not Sunday, Saturday night, right? Because I got there Friday, partied all night Friday, Saturday, kind of hung around, went out to dinner, went to my favorite spot. If you're ever in Vegas, go to Catch and Aria. Salute to Catch and Aria, man. Had a good time out there. There was actually some Cowboys players who I will remain unnamed, was actually at the same dinner spot where I was at. So I got to show some love, man. They showed me some love, shook their hands and whatnot, and told them keep balling out, man. They're like, oh, yeah, we know you. They said, we know you. You know what I'm saying? They know, all right, y'all know me for sure. You know what I'm saying? So to the Cowboys players out there in Vegas. But, Saturday night, wifey was kind of done with it because we went hard Friday night. And I started doing some research, man, because a lot of you guys have been asking me about these coaching hires. And like I said, y'all, we ain't going to just let everybody just pass through the gate this year. No. Now, like I said, last year I messed up, right? I'll wear some of the blame last year, man, because I wasn't paying too much attention to Matt Eberflus and his staff. They kind of snuck some people through the gate. But this year, no. We're going to be paying attention to everybody. And I want to talk about some of the coaching hire possibilities that's been interviewed thus far, right? And kind of names just kind of brewing. I think this is what my dog Boss wants to talk about. But first guy, I know deep. Pause if you want to. But I'm like, all right, let me pull your file. Let me see where you're from. Let me watch your interviews because honestly, Cowboys Nation, we've gone through this now 4 years in a row, right? Defensive coordinator from Dan Quinn to Mike Zimmer to whoever it might be this upcoming offseason. So I feel like, they say, put the cart before the horse before the cart, right? I feel like we've been doing a lot of traditionally draft coverage, right? Draft coverage. Oh, it should be this guy. We should take this guy. We got pick 12 and pick 20 because the Green Bay Packers got packed up, and those Eagles, them Eagles. Yeah, I'll deal with them tomorrow, right? But they got packed up too. So we have 2 first-round picks, pick 12 and pick 20. But it's really hard to know who the Cowboys should pick until we know who we're picking for, right? We can't just blindly grocery shop. So what I'm saying we should do this year is, all right, let's focus on the coaching hires, the coaching candidates, dive deep into their philosophies, their thought process. Is it a perfect fit? And then y'all know, man, the draft stuff we can do. Yeah, one hand bandit. Yeah. Cry, Eagles, cry. Cry me a river. It was funny, man. It was funny. I was sitting back watching that Eagles game yesterday, and when Brock Purdy ran that little shotgun offset arrow route to Christian McCaffrey, I sat back and say, well, damn, the 49ers are up by 4. That means the Eagles are going to have to get into the end zone to win this game, and they can't tush push 90 yards up the field. They're going to have to actually throw the ball to get in the end zone. I said, oh, them boys is in trouble. I text Rome and I text DMV. Yeah, I said, pack them boys up. They're going to have to actually air the ball out to win this game. They are in trouble. Cancun on 3. If you like pina coladas. yeah. Banana boat, them Eagle boys, but we'll talk about them tomorrow. So, like I said, we're going to talk about the coaches. Make sure y'all share the content, like the content, subscribe, whether you follow on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Y'all know the drill, man. I appreciate all the birthday wishes, man. Appreciate it. For y'all follow me on Facebook, for some weird reason, my birthday is set up on Facebook. It twitched out. Right. It says it's Wednesday. That's why everyone's acting weird on Facebook about my birthday. Like, it's not your birthday. It's not. I'm like, bro, I know my own birthday. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not your birthday. Facebook is tweaking. So people are probably going to be like, yo, happy birthday, Tuck, on Wednesday. That's not my birthday. January 10th. You know what I'm saying? January 10th is my birthday. Same birthday as Glenn Big Dog Robinson. You know what I'm saying? For y'all old school NBA fans out there, y'all remember Big Dog went to Purdue. His son plays in the league now. That's how old I am. You know what I'm saying? But Big Dog Robinson, the dude from Crisscross, the dark one, his birthday is on the same day as mine. So back as a kid, it was like I had the same birthday as Crisscross. It ain't the 14th, it's the 10th, man. So, all right. Let's get to it, man. Let's get to it. Been hearing a lot of conversations about Jim Leonhard. Come on, y'all. Come on, Cowboys Nation. Come on, y'all. Jim Leonhard. People been saying Lionheart and Leohard and Lyle. Hey, bro, it's just Leonhard. It's just spelled different than how we traditionally spell Leonhard. You know what I'm saying? Jim Leonhard. Jim Leonhard. It's that simple. Like, don't make it more complicated, Cowboys Nation, than what it really needs to be. It's Jim Leonhard. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, Jim Leonhard. I'm like, who the hell are y'all talking about? All right. So Jim Leonhard is the defensive pass game coordinator for the Denver Broncos. Now, you know, I'll say this, these passing game coordinators, we got one offensively that don't get no credit. You know what I'm saying? Right. But defensively, this is a guy who is tested. And when you pull his file, right? So he played in the league, right? He played in the league as a safety. You know what I'm saying? And that's what gets me excited, right? He's a former safety. So maybe Cowboys Nation, and we'll talk about his scheme because I dove into film and everything, right? If there's any guy that is going to have high value into the safety position, it is going to be Jim Leonhard, because one, he likes his safety to be multiple, and they like to come down and run fits, and they have to be versatile, and they need to be able to tackle. All right. So if we're ever looking for the opportunity to get our guy at the safety position that actually knows, hey, man, safeties are valuable, this might be a guy. But he played in the NFL for 10 years, right? He had 14 interceptions, so he wasn't no Rudy Poo. You know what I'm saying? He was a baller a little bit. But played for the Broncos, played for the Ravens, but now everybody wants to call, right? Now I'm on TikTok. Hold on. Everybody wants to fucking call right now, right? Sorry, TikTok. I mean, apologize. Sorry, TikTok earmuffs. I can't say that word. But played for the Ravens, but where is his connection? All right. Where is his connection? His connection is with him playing for the New York Jets. Hold on. Let me turn this damn thing off. Hold on. Everybody blowing up my phone, man. Everybody blowing up my phone. All right. Nobody want none until I go live. All right, cool. All right. So his connection is he played for the New York Football Jets from 2009 to 2011. And guess who was there during that time? Shotty. Shotty was there, right? Shotty was there. Shotty was there. So there's your Shotty connection. All right. A guy who played for the Jets under Rex Ryan, Eric Mangini. Shotty was there, right? And then now you have Jim Leonard, who played safety. Aha. All right. So there's your Shotty connection. So that could be there's a reason why there is some attraction, man. Tommy Boy, appreciate you. Happy belated birthday, my boy. Appreciate the email address last week. I'll hit you in the coming days. It's been super busy. Don't worry about it, bro. Hit me whenever you need me. I'm here for y'all, man. But there's your Shotty connection in New York. All right. Now, I went back to his Wisconsin because he was a DC for Wisconsin. He was also a DC for Illinois as well. And when he was at Wisconsin, like Wisconsin defense, they was solid. Now, here's the thing, right? Now, of course, in today's NFL, defensive fronts are more multiple. But when you go down to the roots of Jim Leonard, Cowboys Nation, he's a 3-4 guy. He's a 3-4 guy. He's a 3-4 guy. All right. And I got some video plays right now, and we'll kind of go through that, right? TikTok, you won't be able to see it, right? But he's a 3-4 guy. All right, so keep that in the back of your mind. And where they play out there in Denver for the most part under Vance Joseph, right? A little 3-4-ish. So could it be something where maybe Shotty wants to go from more of a 4-3 to a 3-4? Like I said, like today's NFL is more about multiple fronts. Hell, Matt Eberflus did a lot of 5-man fronts, right? So we get 4-3, 3-4s. There's a lot of hybrid fronts in today's NFL, but sometimes it's really about your principles in who you are from a personnel standpoint. That's going to be extremely important. Like I said, as we go through this draft prospects, right? Players that can fit more of a 3-4 style might be more optimal than the old traditional 4-2 big nickels and all sorts of stuff like that, right? So, you know, he's a 3-4 guy at Wisconsin, and Wisconsin was solid, man. I mean, the thing about Wisconsin, we all watch Wisconsin football. It isn't sexy, attractive. They don't have all these incredible athletes, right? For some of my draft wizards out there, y'all remember Leo Chanel, loves Leo Chanel come on the draft, right? He also coached y'all boy and Jack Sanborn, you know, so he's coached some guys, but they're not incredible athlete. And Wisconsin defense has always been solid. They were top 10 nationally, top 5 to 10 in scoring defense, top tier in rushing defense, right? But he didn't have a lot of the godly talent like the Alabamas, the Georgians, so-and-so, right? But they've been a solid defense. Now, where do I see the attraction? Well, when I was going through some of the interviews, Cowboys Nation, I said, that's it, right? So you have the tie in New York to Shotty already, and just listen to this interview. Tell me, who does this sound like?
I think number one, as far as a coach, the thing that I try to do is build trust, and it has to be earned, like both ways. I have to earn your trust, you have to earn my trust, and it's different for every single kid because of what's important to them, and you got to hit them on that individual level as far as what matters to you, because you can't just coach in a box. And been fortunate to have a lot of success that way. Eventually you got to move past that and get to how do I make you better. But once again, that becomes very individual. So I think that's what the players appreciate from me the most, is I try to hit them on their level. It doesn't matter what I know. It doesn't matter my experience. If I can find ways that, you know, can I take some steps out of the process for you? They trust you more. They respect you more. And that's what I've tried to do as a coach, was just, you know, I'm going to try to get you as good as you want to get quickly. And that's going to take a lot of conversation. That's going to take some ups and downs. We each got to get a little uncomfortable in this process. And that's what I try to do with all of our players. That's the right way to do it in my mind. And I think our players would agree. The responses that I've had, and you know, it's always frustrating when you see guys that are a little bit stuck, and how do you push them through that? But you just find new ways to try to hit them and try to push through those hurdles.
Exactly, Zach. That sounded just like Shoddy. He sounded just like Shoddy at that Wisconsin interview, and I'm like, okay, because y'all remember last year, right? I did this whole thing about the offensive side of the ball, right? I talked about Connor Riley. I talked about Junior Adams. I talked about Ken Dorsey. I talked about, all those different coaches that had no ties to each other or no ties to really Brian Schottenheimer, but their philosophies were all properly aligned. It seems like Shoddy has a defensive guy who has the same philosophies aligned on the defensive side of the ball, right? So even when you hear him speak about, treating each player as an individual and coaching those guys up, and, you can't put everybody in a box, and salute to my dog landlord, right? Can't put everybody in a box, and, you got to make adjustments from a player perspective and really relating to each individual. It sounds like Brian Schottenheimer. And I know we'll talk about some other defensive coordinators, whether it's Raheem Morris or Brian Flores, or, the list goes on the big names, right? But what Jim Leonhard feels like to me is this is the Clayton Adams that I've been asking for of the defense, because at Wisconsin, they were after him at the college football level. I know Nebraska was after him. He coached at Illinois for a little bit, so he's had some opportunities. So it isn't like he's a guy that just is a slouch, is not getting any opportunities. No, colleges really wanted him, right? I know Nebraska was high on him. Illinois was high on him. So he's been back and forth from the NFL to the college ranks, right? So this is a guy who you can probably see that's young, can relate to today's modern day athlete, who's a former pro player himself, right? That can connect with the player on an individual basis. It seems like this is the Shoddy guy right now. Of course, right? We like Brian Flores. We like Raheem Morris. I love Raheem Morris. We'll talk about Jim Schwartz, and, the list goes on and on. But this seems like a fit for Shoddy. Now, the approach is, right, when it comes to his defensive philosophy, like I said, I went back and watched his film at Wisconsin, right? What does the Cowboys traditionally struggle with, y'all, defensively, right? We know since the Dan Quinn era, it's just been undisciplined, high-octane chaos, right? We have players flying around a little bit, right? But they might over pursue, right? They might overshoot their gaps, right? Or their DBs might gamble a lot and take those risks for big returns. Either you're going to have 11 interceptions or you're going to give up 3,000 yards, right? So it's like, that's kind of just been what the Cowboys mentality has been. Defense, nobody in position. You're right. Nobody in position, lack of communication, right? It's just, everyone just go out there and go 100 miles per hour, right? No eye discipline, over aggressiveness, coverage bust, poor situational football, right? When you look at Jim Leonhard, like I said, what he's did at Wisconsin, and you can kind of toss in what they've done in Denver, right? But even though it's Vance Joseph defense, but he's been a part of it, right? The thing that I really liked, contrasting Jim Leonhard to Matt Eberflus, right? There's actually some pre-snap disguises. There's some adjustments on the back end to disrupt timing, right? When you watch Wisconsin. And like I said, Wisconsin, they have no athletes like that, right? Right. But it's more about coverage integrity, disciplined football first. I watched numerous interviews where it's disciplined football, winning mentality, win with your IQ versus physical traits. So it's a different philosophy from what we've had traditionally thus far in the recent era that Jim Leonhard really appreciates, right? He's going to want high IQ guys, right? So I think of a guy that stands out to me automatically in the draft when it comes to linebacker position. It might be someone like Jake Galladay out of Cincinnati, right? Extreme IQ, isn't extremely twitchy, right? He isn't very havoc-ish, right? But good in run fits, right? Has those big physical traits, IQ through the roof. So I just think that it's a different fit. He didn't blitz a lot at Wisconsin. Now, of course, that was college and that was years ago, right? But he really doesn't blitz a lot, right? And the thing that I liked about him is that they had an identity, right? Had a defensive identity. And I just feel like we've had some players who was our identity. Professor Tuck, Coach Scout Tuck, man, I appreciate you, Los. Like I said, I said, you know what? Instead of me sitting here on this plane watching hours of draft film, let me see who the guys are I might need to grocery shop first. You know what I'm saying? For first, you know what I'm saying? To make it a lot easier, because if not, I could be sitting there, you know what I'm saying, shopping for God knows who. So let me look at some of these candidates and see, what are they really like? What are they really about? What's their qualities? What types of players do they really like? We know Dan Quinn, right? He like big physical corners. So me scouting Asante Samuel, even though we still should have drafted him, that was not Dan Quinn's forte, right? So what type of players does Jim Leonhard actually like, right? And he likes IQ guys, right? So somebody like Sonny Styles at the linebacker position, he would love him, right? IQ through the roof, right? Like I said, Jake Galladay, IQ through the roof. Now, cornerbacks, right? It could work, right? But one of my favorite corners that I think would fit, right, would be Avian Terrell out of Clemson. So now, once I know the coach's philosophy and his thought process and the identity that he wants, the grocery shopping for me personally is the easiest part, but we'll get there, right? But he talked about in interviews, right? Accountability, adaptability. Like, those are some of those things, y'all, I just did not see from a defensive standpoint this past year. I really didn't. I really did not. God damn it, bro. Stop calling. On TikTok. It's funny. How many times do you have to hit ignore on somebody for someone to know like you're actually busy right now and call you back? You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to hit ignore like 3 or 4 or 5 times for people to be like, all right, I'm going to stop calling Tuck. He's probably doing something right now. All right, but this is what it is. But identity, accountability, adaptability, right? And he really talked about the thing that I felt was missing from the Dallas Cowboys defensive standpoint last year the most, right? Coaching players up. Coaching players up, right? Not every player at Wisconsin was a 5-star, right? Not, you know what I'm saying? So you have to be able to coach those players up. And Matt Eberflus did a horrible job coaching anybody up, right? So you have a guy in Jim Leonhard who's played, he's been in the league, right? He's done some things. Now, he wasn't all pro and all, like he's not no, Ed Reed or something like that, or no Sean Taylor, rest in peace, right? But he's played in the league, and to play in the league for 10 years, you got to know a little something. Played in the league for 10 years, 14 interceptions as a safety, coached a highly touted Wisconsin defense. Right now, passing game coordinator defensively for the Denver Broncos, and them boys is playing out of their minds under Sean Payton. He's also been under Sean Payton, right? He's now under Vance Joseph. This is a guy with a very impressive resume. All right. Now, what are some of the downsides? All right. Leo Chanel been covering Travis Kelce in practice since he got drafted. Yeah. Leo Chanel is one of those guys, man. Like I said, like high IQ guy. I love Leo Chanel coming out of Wisconsin. Wasn't a fan of Jack Sanborn, but it's one of those things. So one of the drawbacks, here's the thing, right? If Vance Joseph, the Denver defensive coordinator, gets a head coaching job, do the Broncos just pipe him in as defensive coordinator? Does he just stay in Denver, right? Or if Vance Joseph gets a head coaching job somewhere else, right? Does he take Jim Leonard along with him? All right. So there's going to have to be some salesmanship when it comes to Jim Leonard, right? Because let's keep it a buck. Quentin Williams, all right. Donovan Izaraku, Kenny Clark, Osa. Hey man, he got some dogs out there in Denver. You know what I'm saying? He got some dogs out there in Denver. So why would I come to Dallas when I already got some dogs here that I'm in full control of? Right? So there's going to have to be some salesmanship when it comes to Jim Leonard, but hopefully there could be a tie. It could be a tie when it comes to Brian Schottenheimer and Jim Leonard. White Cotton. So, someone asked, like, who do I think will be our DC? I do not know, y'all. I really don't. Because here's the reason why I do not know is because we have to sit back and wait and see how this coaching carousel all unfolds. Right? It's about, if Pittsburgh is packed up tonight, you could see a situation where Mike Tomlin's available, right? You got Harbaugh, you got Mike McCarthy, right? People could be requesting to talk to Vic Fangio from the Eagles, and then you got Vance Joseph, Brian Flores, Raheem Morris, Mike McDowell. This coaching carousel is about to get crazy, So everyone's just kind of everybody is. Harbaugh is the one that everybody wants, right? But if you don't get her, then it might be, I don't know, So it's hard for me to gauge who's going to be available, right? Does Jim Schwartz get a head coaching job? Does Raheem Morris just stick with Dan Quinn and go over to Washington to where he's comfortable with, right? Like what's going to happen? That's why it's hard for me to say, like, this is going to be the guy. My job as a content creator / analyst, whatever you want to call it, YouTuber, right, is just to find out, okay, here is our options. Who's the best fit? All right. What's the best fit? My main job and my promise to you guys, Cowboys Nation, that they don't sneak another Matt Eberflus through the gate. They snuck him into the party. You know what I'm saying? You follow me on Instagram. I had a whole section in Marquee for 16 people in the club. All right. For just me and my wife. Why? Because I just wanted to, because it was my birthday. You know what I'm saying? So I had a whole section. But by the time things really ramped up, there was a few girls who just snuck into my section and snuck past the security. Finally, I was like, you know what? Just let them come. You know what I'm saying? Let them come. They talked to my wife. You know what I'm saying? Some of them was getting a little choosy. My wife went to the bathroom and those vultures started swarming. And the bouncer had to say, like, oh, no. You know what I'm saying? They started swarming on your boy. You know what I'm saying? As soon as my wife went to the bathroom, they were like, oh, you know what I'm saying? So they snuck through the gate. All right. My job this year is just to make sure that whoever the Dallas Cowboys hire isn't someone we're just sneaking through just because, like Matt Eberflus. Tuck, I heard you bag Lotto. No. You know what I'm saying? If I bag Lotto, I damn sure wouldn't be talking to y'all right now. You know what I'm saying? Man, I saw Lotto at the Super Bowl last year at the celebrity game. I just had to chill. I just had to chill a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I had to chill a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But huge fan of Big Mama. You know what I'm saying? I shook her hand, said, nice to meet you. But, you know what I'm saying? Hey, 20 black excursions, we pull up like Sunday service. I just want the one-on-one, know why she's so nervous. Hey, you know what I'm saying? All right. So I just got to make sure, Cowboys Nation, that no one sneaks to the gate. But hey, I'm a fan of Lotto, you know what I'm saying? But I gotta make sure no one sneaks to the gate, right? So when it comes to Jim Leonard, I think he checks the boxes, right? I think he's qualified for the job. I do like he does have that youth connection of college / NFL to be able to relate to today's modern day athletes. You know what I'm saying? Because that's going to be important. I do not want no old geezer with dentures who cannot relate. Did y'all watch Chicago Bears? Y'all see how happy those Bears players are? You know what I'm saying? That post Eberflus clarity just looks amazing, y'all. Them Bears players, Caleb Williams was smiling ear to ear post Eberflus. They just happy. They just happy, man. I want that for our players. I want that for our players, man, because there is no way you can convince me that our personnel is this bad. There's no way you can convince me our personnel is just this bad, right? Deron Bland just forgot how to play football entirely. Nah, I really do think that a lot of the pitfalls, now I'm not putting it all on Eberflus and the staff, right? Because some of the players, they deserve some criticism as well. You know what I'm saying? But I just don't think that they just fell off that much. Now, I mean, there were some changes, you know what I'm saying? We did send arguably one of the best defensive players in the league packing because we didn't like the way he talked on the podcast, right? But it's hard for me to imagine that these players are that bad. If you bring in a quality defensive coordinator, add some value in free agency, sprinkle in some of these impact draft guys, I really feel like the Dallas Cowboys defense could get back to clicking. I really do. I'm really not as concerned about our defense as some Cowboys fans might be because it's fixable. I can fix the defense. I need a disruptive pass rusher, a high IQ interior, middle linebacker, a corner, and a veteran safety that can move sideline to sideline, and a defensive coordinator that has some moxie. Did y'all not see Robert Saleh yesterday, how he was just fired up on the sideline going against Philly last night? He was turned up. Tommy boy, I don't want to talk about it too loud, but the Dallas Cowboys defense fell off a cliff in the absence of Micah Parsons. And the Green Bay Packers defense fell off a cliff in the absence of Micah Parsons. I think I know what people are saying. One player doesn't make a difference. But sometimes if that one player is good enough, it makes a big difference. I'm just saying that. Right? I see what you're saying, right? He's just only one man. Word of Big Sean. One man can save the world. But I saw two defenses fall off the face of a map because one man was missing. You know, things are a lot easier with Myles Garrett out there, right, than with them not out there, right? Things are a lot easier with Nick Bosa out there than without him, right? Things are a lot easier with Max Crosby on the field without him. Things are a lot easier when Micah Parsons is out there versus without him, right? So would the Cowboys defense been top 5 with 11? Probably not, but they probably wouldn't have been that. Fern and Goat, take a chance on Harold Perkins. Thoughts? Harold Perkins Jr. is one of the most interesting studies of this draft season because he is a guy that if you go to last year's class before college football started, he was like considered the top linebacker in all of college football, right? Now you have questions about the size, right? Now you have questions about, the IQ aspect, but there's a player somewhere in there, right? There is a player somewhere in there that if you can unleash it, you're going to get a hell of a linebacker. Now, so to my dog landlord said, I love that song. One man can change the world. Big Sean. I've been on my Big Sean stuff lately. Speaking of Alabama, I will be live and direct at the Senior Bowl So I'll be there Tuesday all the way till Friday covering the Senior Bowl, right? So there's a lot of prospects I got to see for my damn self. You know what I'm saying? And then the Cowboys like to pluck, which kind of gives me indication that we should have a defensive coordinator by the Senior Bowl, right? But I'll be live and direct. I know DMV's going to be there. Not sure Landlord's going to be there. I know Big Game's going to be there. Some other people are going to be there. But yeah, I will be boots on the ground for the Senior Bowl because David Bailey, I'm coming to see you directly, bro. Kyle Lewis, I'm coming to see you directly, bro. Like, I want to see eye to eye. You know what I'm saying? So I will be at the Senior Bowl. So definitely, but yeah, Harold Perkins, athleticism is there. Everything is there. I think it's going to be a size issue with him, and just his film for the last year and a half was bad. But if you can unlock it, man, you can get you one hell of a steal in a player. But once again, it depends on who our DC is, man. So that's Jim Leonard. Want to quickly chime in. My dog boss said turn on the phone lines. Now I'm gonna attempt to turn on the phone lines and not blow y'all speakers. For me, McCoy, I am out on McCoy. I don't want another corner with injuries. I just can't. Not right now. Not right now. And I get it. I get the comeback stories. I get, the Dallas Cowboys got the best medical staff, right? I get all that fun stuff. Nah, I need you on go. I need you on go. So let me see if I can turn this on. And yeah, I'm not out on him as a player. I am out on him as a fit for the Cowboys. And I'll get to the film probably this week. I might be on I really haven't been paying attention to what Twitter says. I really don't care. But I have been Avian Terrell, Clemson, right? I know he's going to be a size guy, but Avian Terrell will be one of my guys. All right, so let me see if I can turn this phone line on. All right, let me see. Yeah, veteran proof. You know what I'm saying? I'm veteran proof now. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day, you turn the phone lines on, the whole thing would blow y'all speakers. So I'm prepared now. All right. Let me see. And did it this in a minute.
You are the only participant in the conference.
Let's see here. Now I gotta remember what is my phone number. All right, boss. Hold on. Let me remember what my phone number is. Hold on. Hold on. Let me see. I gotta find out what the actual phone number is. That's how long I turn the phone lines on. You know what I'm saying? I be trying to turn the phone lines on. I be having everybody be wanna, you know what I'm saying, on Twitter, have a million things to say. Anti-Tucker. I say, all right, turn the phone lines on, call in. Ain't nobody call in, so I ain't turn the phone lines on in a minute. Let me see here. Where's the phone lines? I don't remember what my phone number is. Hold on. Let me see. I can find it. I'm gonna find it, y'all. But while y'all do that, man, y'all go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Like TikTok, hit that follow button for me one time. And let's see here. I know I have it somewhere. Is this it? Let me see. I don't think that's it. Hold on. Make sure I got the right number for y'all. Where is it? I'm gonna find the phone number thing for y'all. I'm gonna put it on the screen. Let's see. Let's see. Bang. TikTok, if you want to call in, you're going to have to go over to YouTube real quick. Let's see. Where are you going to be? Let's see. All right. Call in number. All right. Oh, so that is a number. Okay. Bang. I got it right here. All right. So, see, it is 399-100. And then access code is 504 or what? No, 506 9493 pound. All right, there you go. All right, there's the phone number if y'all want to call in. Right there, bang. All right, so we'll see if we get this thing flying while we're in the air, and yeah. So.
All participants are on hold.
All right, what's up, my dog? All right, so he says, yo, Tuck, why does everybody care so much about draft picks and not free agent market? We can fix this defense in free agency. This team is too damn cheap. That's why we want one. Yeah, I think we've been conditioned for that. I honestly think we have been conditioned. You know, it's just like when you used to go to the grocery store or go to the toy store and your mama tell you don't ask for nothing, you just don't to ask for nothing. So you know how the Cowboys are. They did a little bit of free agency last year, right? The Javonte Williams, and but it's not the big name free agency. So I think that's the real reason why. All right, let me see if my dog Boss comes in. Make sure I can hear Boss. All right, check. Yo, Boss, can you hear me, dog?
Yes, I can.
All right, Cowboys Nation, can y'all hear Boss live and direct? Let's make sure we got you good audio, man. Let's see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let's see. Can y'all hear, Boss? Go ahead and talk real quick, Boss. Yeah, they can hear you. All right, my dog.
Can y'all hear me? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah,
1, 2, 3.
They can hear you loud and clear, my dog.
Check. They saying yes, sir. I see a lot of yes, sirs.
Yeah. All right, my dog. What's going on, man? I know you've been waiting. What's up with you, dog?
Man, I'm grieved, bro, and I promise you, bro, I hate that you've been gone because we needed you, bro. This is a time we need the best and the realest people that can discern what's going on, because the locals have been pushing Jim Leonhard. They've been pushing him to a level that we all agree that he's a good candidate. But the amount of deception in the streets is disgusting. Like, it's people out there saying that Brian Flores is 1B and Jim Leonhard is 1A.
They doing that? They doing that?
Huh?
Oh, they doing that?
Yes, dog. Bro, they going out their goddamn mind. And then, like, when you have candidates like Durante, bro, I'm so deep down the rabbit hole. Durante is boo-booing on Jim, bro. It's like not even close. So I got all kind of clips that's showing that C.J. Stroud, I'll quote it, Dak Prescott, Brian Schottenheimer, Brock Purdy, all said, I've never been as confused until I played Minnesota. And they didn't even credit just Flores. They credited Durante as well. You know, from the looks, the disguises, the blitz rates, and everything. Because, see, Jim, he's dope, but we both know, man, that when it comes to these coaches, it's a group assignment.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? It's almost like we now know Al Harris was the person who actually did all the work in the group for the Dallas Cowboys. But because it's a group assignment, who got credit for his work? Right? Dan Quinn. Right? And then obviously Joe Witt. They got the promotions. They still treat Al Harris like a scrub that needs to give us more. You know? So it's one of those things that I'm looking at Jim and it's like, I like the fact that you coached, you know, for 5 years as a DC in college, but there's no other person that they would go back 5 years to sell me on what you did in college, bro.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, what's making me sick is that he has the lowest disguise rate. So one of the things that we all hated about Matt Eberflus was the lack of actual pre-snap disguises.
Right.
Yeah, he's very static, bro. He's a static defense as a passing game coordinator.
Now,
they not showing.
They're
not modernized.
He does it. As a pass. So Denver, they are static, right? He did it in Wisconsin, but he does it. He does it more than Eberflus, and that's the hard part, boss, right? Because it's hard to gauge, like you said, bro, the DC 5 years ago in college, right? Compared to what you're going to be for the Dallas Cowboys. You see what I'm saying? Exactly. Yeah. So just to clarify, y'all, he was the first one.
Bro. They are not covering the run tape. I really want to spit on the local media. They are grossly ignoring the qualifications of the run tape, bro, and it's sick. I've talked to some of them, bro. Like, I saw Bobby Belt post a whole collage on how Jim fits and showed that he's looking for a teacher. They show clips of him. I'm a teacher. So Devontae got all of that twice as much because he's a certified teacher out of Louisiana that worked his way from the very bottom, bro. And he said, I became a better coach because I'm actually a certified teacher.
Right.
So I know how to get people to get concepts on a whole nother level because I first started by teaching high school students, not even football, bro. Yeah. And it translated to football because then when you go and look at Minnesota, they have the most advanced and confusing back end, bro. And they got to run that without errors. Who's teaching them?
Right. Right.
It's Durante.
Yeah.
But nobody's saying that, bro. And it's pissing me off at this point that we super late in this DC hiring process. And the only people that the media talked about was Jim. And it's like, God damn. It's like new media got to do everybody's fucking job. Actually, get on my, excuse me, bro.
Yeah, you're good. Now you're good, bro.
They get on my nerves. And you got to go to new media to learn about the other candidates. Because according to everybody else, it's Jim and nobody else. Everybody else is a peer.
So that
and it's like, nah, bro.
Yeah. So
Devontae was actually interviewed by other people besides Dallas.
Right.
For DC. And it's like he should be the guy. It was no other team that Brian and Dak talked about whoop they ass schematically like Minnesota, bro. Right. I showed the clips on Twitter. I didn't mean to go off, bro. I'm just upset, bro.
You good? Yeah, keep going.
I'm just upset because it's like, bro, okay, y'all not stupid, local media. You're not stupid. You know how to equally cover and compare. Obviously, they might not go as in depth as you would, because you study deep. You go deep. I go deep. I try to look at every stone. Of course, we're not perfect, but the attempt is going to be there for sure. But this is blatant, bro. It is blatant. Like, I literally went back. Bobby Belt asked me, he said, how does he have a better resume? You got one guy coming from Jets Van Joseph's, but Durante was under Van Joseph. He was also obviously under Brian Flores, Zimmer, and he was under Marvin Lewis, bro.
Which are all defensive savants.
All defensive lenses, bro. You know what I'm saying? So you got him, and he's currently sitting in the most modern defense today in Minnesota. The one that everybody trying to crack and can't crack. You got a chance to get a guy who would be the first fruits that fall off that tree, and our stupid ass local media ain't even talking about it.
Right. So I didn't even know.
Jim. It's like, God damn. It's like, and the more I research Durante, the madder I get, bro. Like, I was looking at Durante in his mic'd up Senior Bowl clips from last year, bro. You know how Shotty makes all his coaches touch every player before every practice? Why was he the only one doing that on his own? He literally was the only one dapping everybody up on his own. It's like, it is nobody, honest to God, that's a better fit than Durante, bro. And I'm just mad because I feel like it was done on purpose. I feel like they got into this clique of trying to push Jim, and they began to push Jim, and they never gave Durante a fair assessment of what he's doing.
And see, and
I'm just mad about it.
Yeah. So that's why we have to do this, right? Like I said, for me, the only reason I'm doing Jim first because people were asking about him first. But that seems like now that's the reason why people are like, yo, Tuck, what's the dude on the Wisconsin, right? So it's like you should do your due diligence, right? Because like tomorrow's show, we're gonna break down Durante. We're gonna break down all of these not prospects, but these coaching candidates because I want to find the best guy for the Dallas Cowboys. I'm not saying Jim is the guy, right? I'm like, what's his traits? What's his positive? What's his drawbacks, right? Because if you go back to Durante, bro, like you said, he's coached at LSU. That's DBU. You know what I'm saying? Like, so he's been around football enough, but I didn't know that they was pushing him over Brian Flores and all. I didn't know that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it was disgusting in the streets, bro. Like, I almost didn't care that you was on vacation. I was like, I almost didn't care it was your birthday.
You did. So funny story, man. Boss called me. Like, hey, man, I need you to do something. I'm gonna keep it a buck with y'all. He's like, I need you to do something like the streets need you, Cowboys Nation needs you. Bro, I was in the Louis Vuitton store getting fitted for my outfit. I wouldn't pay attention to shit boss was saying, bro. I was like, all right, cool. I was like, man, let me, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, all right, cool. Yeah. I was like, yeah, okay. So I see what's going on, man. So it's that all again.
Yeah, that's
right?
The pulse of the streets, and I want to catch you up on it.
Oh, okay.
Because,
yeah.
See, I know you. Me and you the same. We see the value in Jim, bro.
Right.
Played for 7 different teams, so you had 7 different D coordinators.
Right, Rex Ryan, yeah, you know.
We go sell him right, bro. We're not going to ignore him because we're trying to push our guy.
Right.
I would be happy for Durante or Jim.
Right.
But at this point, it's like the draft.
Right.
If you really believe that a candidate is better at pick 12, we're supposed to box over that.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So what's going on is people have in their mind that
already
Jim is better, but they not willing to box.
Right.
It's that same shit on the draft. It's like I'm daring somebody to even meet me at any arena. I told everybody I will embarrass you if you try to compare Jim to Durante.
Right.
I would embarrass anybody that's willing to try to have that conversation.
Mm-hmm.
It would be a landslide victory with ease. That's how big of a fit Durante is. And Jim is a fit. Like, Jim is a fit too.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? But I would also say this about Jim. I feel like Jim needs to cook a little bit more too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Jim could be boom or bust. He really could.
Right, he could.
Like, he could be boom or bust because it's one of those group project things. It's like, is it Van Joseph's? Like you said, because you were showing disguises.
Mm-hmm.
He's not showing disguises. But is it Van Joseph? So we just because we don't know, it now should say, well, we need to see you as an official DC.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Versus being hyped. Because see, I'm not even too big on. And guess what else? Guess what's crazy, bro? Guess who also coached at Wisconsin, bro?
Who?
Durante. Guess what his defense was when he was the passing game coordinator over there?
What was it?
Number 1.
Damn.
Way better than anything Jim ever did.
Well, shit.
In the same damn school.
So, boss, I was like, man, I mean, we can do it right now pretty much. I was like, I was going to do Durante's video tomorrow, and I was going to do Jim Swartz, but shit, we might as well go live tomorrow.
Yeah, because it's going to be dope.
I was like, we can probably go live and go through everything, you know what I'm saying? Because I was going to do the film breakdown, but film, you know what I'm saying? I've been acting weird on YouTube lately, but you know, that's what I'm saying. You should, because even like you talk about like Jim Leonard, right? You could have said the same thing about one of the guys that I really liked out of Seattle and Jeff Howard, their DB coach, right? He has a lot of the same kind of traits that Jim has. He's just unseasoned, unproven. You know what I'm saying? So do you want a guy that's going to come in and try to cut his teeth, learning how to be a DC at the NFL level on the Cowboys dime and on Dak Prescott's window? That's the question we all need to ask ourselves versus having a guy. I know, give me Jim Swartz. I ain't got to lose. He know what he's doing, right? Because I feel like that was the one caveat and the biggest problem this year when it came to Brian Schottenheimer is he had to take away time from the offense to go focus on what the hell's going on with the defense, right? Which our offense are the real. I would like a guy that, hey, you know what? Schott ain't got to worry about it. No, we're good over there. And that's the same thing like Mike McCarthy had with Dan Quinn. Mike ain't have to worry about the defense under Dan. Dan got it, right? He didn't have to worry about it under Zim. Zim has it, right? But if you have a guy like Jim Leonard or Jeff Howard, like are you going to be equipped to be able to handle the responsibility of being an NFL defensive coordinator? That's a whole nother topic for a whole nother discussion. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah.
And like, because see, all of these guys got some type of ward, right? So even Durante, my ward on Durante would be, have you been around the league enough to form the friends to form your staff?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Now, we know Jim ain't been around the league long enough, because what do most people do? Like, what did Mike McCarthy do when he needed a DC? He said, I'm going to go holler at the dude who beat my ass the most, Zimmer.
Right.
And literally said that because he was in the league so long, he was able to know, based on facing certain opponents, these guys, I had to study to go against Zimmer. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
I had to, that dude changeup was nasty.
Right.
You know? So when he became available, he was like, oh man, I always wanted him. You know?
Right.
It's just that when I was going against him, it was head coach on head coach.
Right. But
I always respected his craft. But that's also because he was in the league long enough to have a coaching tree, not tree, pipeline. You know?
Right, because
so
if you watch
on Durante as well as Jim,
because if you go back and watch our film, Cowboys Nation, right, and our quarterback ain't no slouch. Minnesota had Dak Prescott in a damn blender. You know what I'm saying? They had, you know what I'm saying? That's no easy task. They had Dak in a blender. You know what I'm saying? They were showing and dropping and showing and going and blitzing and like Dak was, you know what I'm saying? And so that's the eruption. And those are some of the things that you saw with Mike Zimmer had. You saw some of those things last night with Robert Saleh. Like those are what those quality defensive coordinators who just been around the block so many times, they just know what to do. You know, y'all remember that game, you know, how Zimmer used to have Jaden Daniels and, you know what I'm saying? Like he was seeing ghosts because he hit that boy with, I ain't never seen no shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like if they coming and going, that double A gap mug, that's, you know, it had Jaden Daniels confused, right? And I saw Brian Flores and Durante Jones do that in Minnesota versus Dak Prescott, who's one of the most seasoned, touted quarterbacks in the league. You see what I'm saying? So there's
a 10-year vet was seeing ghosts.
Right. Seeing ghosts.
And I played each clip of him explaining it. Dak got so frustrated at the post-game interview that he said, man, I'm just frustrated.
Right. Because
I didn't know what they was doing.
Right.
And then I stole to what C.J. Stroud said that. That Purdy said that.
Right.
It's like, at this point, I'm going to say this, bro, and I'm going to stand 50 toes on this. If Dallas Cowboys don't hire the run over Jim, they stupid as hell. Like, you stupid. Like, you are so stupid if the same DCs that had you seeing ghosts, you don't see the value in them. And see, Durante was featured last year, mic'd up in the Senior Bowl. He was also featured by the NFL as the up-and-coming defensive coach, bro. By the NFL. And guess who ain't saying nothing about it? Our local media. They ain't saying nothing. They acting like he's just some old peon, bro.
Dang, no. See, I've been out of the streets.
It's ugly out here, bro. Like for me to call you on your vacation, bro, you know it's dirty because you know I never would. You know, I would let you always have your face.
I ain't know it was that bad, man.
I literally got those. I got so desperate for real fighters. I was like, Tuck, I know it's your birthday, but I at least need you to go. Right? I swear to God, I called Tuck.
He did. I was getting
because they not playing the game right out here, bro.
Right.
They playing the game real one-sided, punky and biased.
Who the top candidates that they're pumping?
Oh, it's Jim. Bro, they acting like it's Jim and nobody else, bro.
Oh.
Go look at they literally said this on one of the fan thumbnails. They said, if Jim is not hired, we'll be happy with Durante. Guess who the picture was on their thumbnail? Jim. They doing all kind of hit pieces, bro. And dog, it been going down in the streets, bro. It been dirty. Man, they doing massive hit pieces on Al Harris, bro. Massive ones, bro. You know? They got an article out there say 5 people to stay away from at all costs, and Al Harris is number 3. Swear, bro. And it's like, what? And they're like, because he's, by his own admission, just a technical teacher. He's not a tactician. And it's like, yeah, because he was a cornerback coach and he already had the strategies in the building, Joe Witt and Dan. So y'all being real funny. Y'all playing. It's like y'all know in context, he's saying, I'm not the strategist of this defense.
Right.
But he's the passing game coordinator now, so he's part of the strategy meeting.
And them boys in Chicago's balling.
Yeah. And then I don't understand how we over here like we not even gonna interview Al Harris because Scotty didn't like his coaching style. They felt like, and they linking all kind of bullshit. Like it's like talking about that he baby players. And then my boy Tyrone Church sent me a clip showing where Al Harris had the best dudes when Diggs was at his best doing push-ups on the sideline for dropping a one-handed pick. And you know what Al Harris told him? He said, we practice on the jug machine one-handed. I ain't giving you no excuse. I need my team. Man, Diggs did 8 push-ups. That boy told him, you need to give me 2 more. That ain't enough. But they try to act like he babying. They playing that type of game to push up Jim, bro. And see, I hate that because, see, you for the Jim. I'm for the Jim. We go give the 2 pros and cons of Jim.
Right.
They shitting on they shitting on guys that's qualified, bro, or acting like they don't exist.
See, and that is
the fans are waiting to be educated, right? Because they too busy.
And that is our responsibility. Which, like you said, it's our responsibility, but it should be all of our responsibility. New media, old media, whoever, right? Because you should educate and give the fan base all the options, all the positives, and all the drawbacks, right? And just make a formidable decision of what's best for the Cowboys. It's not about me getting my guy. Right now, both of my guys is out there smoking shit in Robert Saleh and Mike Vrabel, right? Those are whom I wanted last year, but I cannot sit here and just bag Brian Schottenheimer because I'm pouting because I didn't get my guy, right? No, there's a lot of great things that Shotty has set the foundation for. There are some things that needs to be fixed, right? But I think sometimes what happens, boss, is it's not about the Cowboys. It's about the individual of the person in their narratives and whoever, right? And I think it just gives these mixed signals when it comes to Cowboys fans. Bro, we're tired of losing. We had a healthy Dak Prescott, boss, and we ain't even make the playoffs, bro. You know what I'm saying? We just saw last night how the Jaguars punch on the Chargers, and we can't even say nothing because the Chargers punched on us. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But here we are so focused on just making sure our guy gets in there. Like, nah, man, we want real Cowboys fans want real solutions. I'm tired of losing. You know what I'm saying? I'm tired of losing. I'm tired of mediocrity. So if my guy isn't the best guy, I want the best guy for the job, boss. And I think that's the biggest problem when it comes to Cowboys, because now it causes a divide, right? So we go ahead and talk about Durante Jones. Then it's like, oh, well, Tucker and them. Like, no, I just did the first video on Jim Leonard, right? I talked about the pros. I said he would be a good fit for these reasons, but here are some of my concerns. You know, and I'm going to do the same thing when it comes to Jones. I'm going to do the same thing when it comes to Schwartz. I'm going to do the same thing when it comes to Brian Flores. I'm going to do the same thing when it comes to my guy, Jeff Howard. I'm going to do the same thing for all the players, right? But it's just what has happened in our community is unfortunate because, you know, it leads to negative results, to be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, everybody saying in the chat, bro, we tired of losing, bro. Like, I don't give a dang if the next guy is purple. Get the job done, right? So it's that thing, man. So, yeah, but to bag on Al Harris, come on, bro. You know, what are we doing? Now, when we was out there, when Boston, they was talking about the Cowboys don't lose at home and our defense and pick six Bland and all, you didn't have a problem with Al Harris then?
Nah, none.
Yeah,
and it almost insulted me because it was like they say like he coddled them, and it's like he didn't get the most out of them. I hated that because it sounded like slavery to me.
Right.
It's like, bitch, how much more do you want? You know what I mean? Them boys gave you a living in the session. It's like, shut the fuck up.
But here's how it's easier for them to do, right?
Excuse me, bro. No, it's like they just got me aggravated, bro, with the way they covering some of these qualified coaches, and it's like, damn, you sabotaging yourself. It's like you yourself, Brian, talked about how disgusting your turnover margins was, bro. You said that was the number one thing. But yet you don't want to talk to the guy that's number one in creating turnovers in the last 5 years. You don't even want to have a conversation.
Right.
Well, if we get bounced It's your ass. Because I'm over here looking at the fact that, like, I'm looking at Al Harris, Coach Diggs hard, bro, on the sideline. Have you ever in your life seen Pickens doing push-ups on the sideline from Shotty?
Right. No.
Have you ever seen CeeDee Lamb doing push-ups because they dropped the ball?
Right.
Al Harris told him, I need my 10 now. I'm talking about the mics on, everything. And this ain't washed up Diggs. This ain't hurt Diggs.
Right.
This is best Diggs ever. Yeah, and he's holding him accountable for everybody. But they lying and smearing this man, dog.
But because it's easy, bro. It's easy because what you can do is, right, they got the victory versus Micah, right? Then they tie Diggs to Micah, and now you can tie Al Harris to Diggs. Right? Oh, he coddled Trayvon. So you're not going to talk about, if you want to tie Al Harris to Diggs, right? You also got to tie him to Deron Bland. Deron Bland ain't looked the same since the man been gone, right? So how is it that you can sit back and watch? I mean, y'all didn't watch. I know Cowboys fans watched that Green Bay game because y'all was waiting for them to fail, right? Y'all saw how that Chicago Bears defense and that secondary was playing. You know, they played it at a completely different level. And sometimes people don't understand when you have coaches that can speak your language that you respect, it just lights something different in you. It does.
Right.
It does.
It does. And it's just that simple, man. And thanks for taking my call, bro. I really, honestly, glad you back. Because everybody's not going to get on a post of discussions to win like you.
Right.
It's only a few people that I can say, okay, they go have a winning discussion. It's a lot of people go talk about what's trending. They go talk about what's hot. It's gonna be we got pick 12 and 20, obvious bullshit.
Right.
You one of the few people that I know, bro, that I know love the Cowboys and go always turn back to a winning conversation. So I'm glad you back. And look forward to more in your content, and just thanks for taking my call.
Appreciate you, my dog. That's my dog, Boss Cowboy, man. Okay, definitely give my brother a follow, man. Like, yeah, it's all about real. And sometimes people have to understand that, right? Accountability, right? Not just with the Cowboys. I always encourage you, follow me on Instagram, right? Accountability when it comes to yourself as a person, as a man, as a father, as a wife, you know, as a mother, right? You got to, and sometimes you have to have tough conversations. You know, I had a tough conversation with Jay Tuck Jr. You know, he's playing soccer, right? But he wasn't putting in no work. So I got on him. Now, my wife, she was like, you don't have to be mean to him, blah, 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 blah. But he got the message, and he's been putting in work. And now he was playing varsity as a freshman soccer player, right? Because now it's not just about going to practice and then playing soccer when you're at practice and then coming home and playing PlayStation all day. Nah, you got to get in the lab. Because you started playing soccer in your 8th grade. You haven't been playing for a year and a half, right? There has been some kids out there who've been playing soccer their entire life. So you got to go out there and close the gap. We have a backyard. You can have a whole soccer game in my backyard. Hey, put down the PlayStation and go put in some work. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Y'all see me on my Instagram. I got a gym in the garage. Okay, go get on that treadmill. Go get on the weights, you know what I'm saying? Not too heavy. I'll spot you a little bit, right? You got to put in the work. Now, it sounded harsh, me having those, don't yell, don't talk, but he got the message. And just yesterday, right, we went out there, saw him in this little, it's like AAU soccer, right? But he was the only person that led his team in goals yesterday. So now you're feeling yourself. Now you're doing your little celebrations and everything and getting your shoes signed. You got to score a goal in front of your grandma. You're feeling yourself. Why? Because you went out there and put in the work. You deserve it, right? So it comes to the same thing when it comes to the Cowboys, man. It's about the best ideas. It's not about my idea, right? It's not like, oh, I wanted so-and-so in the draft and we didn't get him, so I want so-and-so to fail. Hell no. If you put that star on, bro, I got to ride with you. You know what I'm saying? And if you're not doing what's required, I'm going to talk about to help you improve because we want to win. If you're watching me on TikTok, you want to win. You're watching me on Instagram, YouTube, wherever. We want to win, bro. I'm tired of loser mentalities. When it comes to the Dallas Cowboys, I'm sitting back and I sent this to DMV in Rome. The Chicago Bears are geeked up and they're playing with a different swagger. all because Ben Johnson has put that DNA, pause if you want to, into their locker room, and they're playing with confidence. So let's lift the burden, man. Yo, caller, state your name, where you're from. Yo. Caller, can you hear me? Yo, caller, can you hear me? Yo.
Hello?
Yeah, what's up? Can you hear me?
Yeah, how you doing, brother?
What's going on with you, dog? Who am I talking to?
I mean, this MJ.
What's going on with you?
Yeah, just checking out the show. Y'all make some good points. I ain't never heard you. See, you got me studying now. You talking about that Minnesota defensive coordinator?
Oh yeah,
he coached at Wisconsin too.
Yeah,
them two together then, because both of them coached it. Why not? Can we make one of them the head defensive coach and one of the assistant?
Mm-hmm.
You get both of them, can you? Can they do that?
I mean, it probably you got to pay, you probably, you know what I'm saying, but you could, right? You could build that staff, right? Because it really depends on, let's say Brian Flores gets a new head coaching job and he leaves, and Durante Jones is looking for an opportunity, right? So it could be a situation where, Jim Leonard could recruit him over. So there's going to be some options, and I think that's the fun part, right? Putting together the staff, because one coordinator can't change it, right? It's going to be a defensive line coach who's going to coach your linebackers, your corners, and list goes on and on. You got to be able to put the equipped staff, and that gives you the opportunity. But yeah, I think that's the main thing, bro, is educating Cowboys fans, right? I think that's the thing, because even for me, like, I haven't started my research. I mean, I'm halfway through. I watched the film, right? But I'm starting my research for tomorrow's show. But that's good nuggets from Boss. And sometimes as Cowboys fans, you're like, wait, I didn't know that, right? I didn't know this, that, so there's a lot of different things, because of course, right, we study players, we don't study coaches, we don't care about the Minnesota Vikings passing game coordinator, like, just like they don't really care about ours until we need to find what we need to help our defense. So glad you found it valuable.
Yeah, because y'all made some good points. I gotta give y'all credit on that homework, because I was like, okay, because I'm looking, I'm into defense, because you're not gonna win unless you have good defense. You got the best offense. But what about that offense do a choke job, have a bad game?
Right.
I was telling my friends the other day, to say, how you think the Patriots won? Brady had a bad game, couldn't do nothing, and the defense kept him in the game, and then he finally got hot. And that's how they won.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's what people got to understand. It can't be on Prescott all the time.
Right.
But some games, he ain't gonna have good games. Right? It is what it is.
Yeah, I agree. I 1000% agree. I think that's the biggest thing for me personally, because of the Dallas Cowboys. We have to lose. It's Dak Prescott or bust. You sit back, even though we don't like Philly, right? Because Jalen Hurts, you know what I'm saying, he hasn't been balling out, right? But there's games where the defense saves Philly, or the running back and Saquon saves Philly, or special teams gets 2 blocked field goals and saves Philly. For us, it feels like Dak got to be Superman, or it's going to be a long day. As a Cowboys fan, the very first few drives, if Dak looks off, it's just going to be a long day.
Yeah, because look, if you keep trying to depend on Dak, we're going to keep losing. He's a good quarterback. Y'all got to understand. That's what the Cowboy fans got to understand. If you look at the playoff game, look what happened. Remember, we scored 40 on Minnesota. Remember that one year? Beat the hell out of them. But they finally got their defense right, and then look what happened. Confusing. Look what Denver defense confusing. Look what New England defense did yesterday, 16-3. And every quarterback that played against us threw for 300. Eating a peanut butter jelly sandwich and killing us.
Right. Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly, man. So yeah.
We're not gonna win unless we get a good defense. I want the best, because we got the line set. But this is what I want to do. See, my boy, this is what I told my friends. They said, what you want to do, Mom? I want to keep them 2 number. They said, why you want to keep number 2? Because I'm finna do the pimp game. We're going to get Pickens out the way. He about to get the $33 million. He about to get a 3-year He about to get a 3-year $100 million contract. That's out the way. I'm telling y'all, that deal is done. Now you read what you call 95. They're gonna redo his deal. Give him like a 3-year deal. He probably get like $12 million a year, something like that. 15 or 12. He's gonna be out the way. Then here we go. They about to sign Quentin Williams' brother, linebacker. They're going to put him on the team with all them other linebackers. Number 35 can play. Number 0 can play. We about to have the most dangerous, fast linebacking core with defense done. They're going to sign Clooney back, but he'll go to Strawberry on top.
All right.
We're not trading for the Oakland DN. No, you don't want to do that because you got to give up your picks. No. You finna sign your boy. He got 3 years left in it, and I know he'll get 12 to 15 sacks easy. I'm about to sign Cincinnati.
Trey Hendrickson.
Healthy. The linebacker, the DN from the DN from Cincinnati.
Yeah, Trey Hendrickson.
We finna sign Trey Henderson.
Okay.
Boom.
Yeah.
Put Trey Henderson with Clooney. That number, a young kid gonna be learning from them too. With that rush gonna come in around, you know what I'm saying? And now they got the linebacker core. Now you lose that 12 pick on that safety, number 2 from Ohio State, and then get that cornerback at number 20, either from Tennessee or LSU.
Mansur, Delone, or McCoy. Yeah. So we do have options, right? And that's what I'm saying. Like, the thing is, for me personally, MJ, is that I want the right defensive coordinator, and I also want a guy who's going to be here a little bit, because this is the 4th one in 4 years, and you're losing your continuity when it comes to your defense, right? You got Dan Quinn's guys out, his philosophy out. You brought in Zimmer. Zimmer got his guys, and now you want to have some consistency on the defensive side of the ball. And I think that when it comes to it, you got to build everything around Quentin Williams. Like, that's your guy, right? This is Quentin Williams' defense. Everything is built around him. Now you go find a guy who's going to be here for at least three years, and you really just pour the gasoline around Q-Dub and get this defense in order, because last year went all the ways just because it just wasn't, it was too up and down, you know?
And can I say something?
Yeah.
That Zimmer defense, the dude, I know they keep bragging on Leonard. I'll be happy for either one, him or your guy, Devontae, what's his name? Him, either one. I want one of them or Flores, either one. But Flores about to get a coach.
Yeah.
Flores about to be a coach. So either one of them two for sure. But you got to remember, if Van's become the coach, you better, you see what I'm saying?
Right.
Vance might become a coach too now for
Denver,
and then Denver might say, "Hey, here
that's
you
what
go,
I'm saying."
man.
Right? Yeah. Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. So that's what, honestly, I think would probably happen if Vance gets a job. They play, all right, now you're the DC here already in Denver. You know what I'm saying? So you would have to pull him away. So, you know, I like that the Cowboys are doing their due diligence. Let me start talking like Steven. Of interviewing quality guys, right, versus sitting on their hands. But I really hope they pick up steam and just go get the right guy. I don't want the old, you know, we're familiar with this guy. I don't want that. I want that.
That's why I know what Boss said, but I do like the guy from Leonard, because I see how he coached. He know how to coach defense. He played D-back for about 8 years, so he's not stupid.
Right.
So you got to remember, he's following out the Van scheme, but he probably got his own scheme. Just like
to mix in.
Minnesota kid.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
So they want a guy that can play a 3-4 and a 4-3. And the guy from Denver could do that. Like he did that at Wisconsin. Both of them.
Right. He played the multiple front.
So, yes, they got multiple. And they know how to coach. Because I don't want I'm tired. I know me, when we watch these games, I have to be so mad. I'm looking at my friend and say, Mom, why you so mad? How about to break the TV? I said, why, Mom? I played corner myself. I say, man, I know that just to educate people, and you know about this because you coach football. If I run a 4-3-1, because I ran track in college at UW, and I went to Iowa State too, I was very fast. Just because I run a 4-3, to everybody on here, a 4-5 guy could burn you.
Right.
I might run a 4.3, but a 4.5 guy can burn you.
Right.
If he got moves like like Steve Largent.
Right.
If you don't know how to watch his waist,
Mm-hmm.
if his waist, if you don't, boy, he could burn you.
Right. There's nuances
So
there's nuances in the route tree, right? We call it the stem, right? So it's like, there's ways you can lose, right? Because there's guys who aren't like George Pickens, right? George Pickens isn't a burner, but he can still stack corners, right? Because of some of the nuances, right? So like, the Amari Coopers, the Keenan Allens, the, Puka Nakua's, like those guys aren't burners, but they can get open. You know what I'm saying? They can just get open and create separation. So that's what a lot of people don't understand, because they see that, he ran a 4.3 or he ran a 4.2. Like he's like, nah, it's not that case. He might not be able to get off a press coverage. He might not be able to, to sink his hips and get onto his stem. Like there's a lot of different things that it goes into being a good quality wide receiver versus just speed, man. But my guy, man, appreciate you for calling in. Thanks for the support.
And one more thing I was gonna say, and I was gonna just say one more point with the fast, because if a guy runs the same speed you do, that means he can burn you.
Right.
Tell him about that, because you say you run a 4.3, I run a 4.3, and I'm playing man press, and you get that step on me and that quarterback throw that ball, I'm done.
Well, think about this, right? Think about this. Last draft season, who was the darling that everybody loved in the wide receiver room because of his 40 time? It was Matthew Golden, and Matthew Golden was one of the worst producing rookie wide receivers for Green Bay Packers this year, right? But he went out there and ran that 40, and everyone fell in love. I said, listen, bro, it doesn't look like that on the film, but they just fell in love, and it was different, right? Separation.
He got better. He got better. The last game he finally came in form.
Right. Yeah, and it was too late. Yeah, it was too late.
It was too late.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? They needed that about a week ago.
I know what you're saying. I just want a good defense. I want to have because I'm telling you, to all the Cowboys fans, we get a top 10 defense that really can stop the run. And our corners is play that zone corner defense when you're 5 yards off instead of, excuse my French, goddamn 15 yards off. That pisses me off. I hate that.
Yeah.
When the corner came, man, my grandmother could beat you.
Yeah. Well, and you play corner, and you play corner. You said, right? People don't understand, as a corner, you being able to get up in someone's grill and bag them up. That's how you get your fire. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how you get. That's where your competitive drive comes from. It's really getting up in a wide receivers mix and going out there locking up. If you're playing 8 yards of coverage, you know what I'm saying? And they're just sitting there running hitches and quick slants against you all day, and now you have to tackle. Like it creates a long day for you. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man.
Hey, CFO, can I ask you a question before I leave?
Yeah.
Now, do you like that? If I drop that corner from Tennessee or LSU and that safety, them the 2 picks in the first round, will you love that?
If you talk about the safety, is Caleb Downs, right? You give me Caleb Downs, I don't care what else happens, because that's my favorite player in the draft. That's my number one. Yeah. So
corner from Tennessee.
The only drawback, like I said, is about McCoy from Tennessee is just that I just can't do another cornerback off of knee injuries, right? It's like we just done that with DeRon Bland going through foot surgery, Revel, still battling back. You want to take right, LSU, or like I said, there's another one that people really need to turn up on. He's out of Clemson. That's Avian Terrell. Like I'm telling you, he's going to get knocked because of his size. Right, but Avian Terrell is a sticky corner that can go out there and back, but he's probably going to be a slot guy, but inside corner. But I want sticky corners. Yeah, we need a slot. Right. So yeah, but
you made a good profile name too, because all these people do with the new coaching staff and DeRon Bland. I love you, but come on, my brother. If we get some corners that can cover better than you, then we could trade DeRon Bland for some people.
No, they ain't gonna trade DeRon Bland. They just signed him. They just signed him, man. But I'm open for competition. I'm open for competition, man. But, hey, my dog, appreciate you for calling in, man. Support us always, man. Have a good one. Go Cowboys.
I love the talk.
Appreciate you. All right, y'all. I'm gonna close the phone lines real quick.
Goodbye.
I got to jump on a Commander show. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, I just got back last night, you know what I'm saying, for Vegas, but everyone has me lined up for shows and draft coverage and stuff. So going to jump on a Commander show and talk about the draft here in a little bit, but appreciate y'all for tuning in. TikTok, appreciate y'all for tuning in. If I miss your questions or your stars or whatnot, man, I apologize. TikTok, eventually, y'all gonna have to just get y'all asses over here to YouTube where everybody else, man. But I appreciate all the support, man. We had a bunch of people watching in, tuning in. We'll do draft content as well. But like I said, I really want to break down all these coaching possibilities. Then that way we can match. It's Ballin' in Burgundy, I believe. Is the show. Don't quote me on that. Ballin' Burgundy, I believe. So they hit me up about doing a draft show on their channel. I might connect it back, so I might be back live on YouTube. I'm not sure how that works, right? But we're gonna talk a little bit draft, Commander stuff, Cowboy stuff, and keep things going, man. But y'all, I appreciate y'all, man. Like I said, Cowboys Nation, I know it's the off season, but I'm recharged, man. I took a little break, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Focusing on what's important. Like my boss said, I'm not in the streets, man. I'm not really messing with the streets like that. Twitter, man, they can have that. I didn't have all that, man. For me, it's just rocking with the people who rock with me. CFO gang, man, I appreciate all the support. We continue to climb, continue to grow. TikTok, appreciate y'all rocking with me. We're going crazy. Instagram is going crazy. We almost at 6,000. You know what I'm saying? We're going viral on Instagram right now because I was trolling the Eagles fans over there, man. So I'm just stamping my flag in new territories. Shoot to Threads. I'm on Threads now. It's different on Threads, fellas. You know what I'm saying? It's different. It's different on Threads, fellas. You know what I'm saying? Because on Twitter, you post, you got a bunch of, you know what I'm saying, some dusty musties all in your comments, man. I'll post on Threads. It's different. I got to be like, all right, don't respond to that talk. You know what I'm saying? I got Instagram models who are Cowboys fans wanting to chime in on the conversation. I'm just like, nah, I'm cool. But y'all can go over there and comment and keep them entertained. But I kind of just post and ghost, man. But yeah, it'll be a live show, Burgundy and Ballin' or something like that, right? I'll find that channel here in a minute. But like I said, I'll probably connect it to my channel if it's StreamYard, and y'all might see me here in a second, man. So make sure y'all go ahead, hit that subscribe button. TikTok, hit that follow button as well. Share the content, like the content. But listen, Cowboys Nation, y'all know how it gets in the off season. Ballin' in Burgundy. That's it. Yeah, Ballin' in Burgundy. I'm gonna go live on there here in about 30 minutes. I need to eat. I haven't ate yet. So I'm about to eat real quick and then jump on, do some draft content over there. But y'all know how it is, Cowboys Nation. All season, pollution, drama, dark clouds, smear campaigns. I'm personally just tired of it, and I want to kind of stay in my little bubble and just talk football. So draft film, breakdowns, coaching hire, deep dives, how to really fix this team. That's what I enjoy. That's what I like. That's what I'm good at. Senior Bowl, I got a bunch of prospects lined up to come on the show. That's my lane, man. I'm not doing the messy stuff anymore. They can have that. That's them. Who do I got tonight? Steelers or Texans? I got the Texans, man. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm gonna do. Right. No more hurt guy. Yeah, I can't do all that. So appreciate y'all for tuning in, man. As always, I want everyone to stay safe, stay blessed, stay encouraged, and go Cowboys. Peace. This video is brought to you by Sleeper, the #1 daily fantasy sports app. And right now, Sleeper is doing something crazy, unimaginable. Yes, Sleeper right now is giving you a free $20. Yep, free. All you have to do is be a new subscriber and download Sleeper, and Sleeper will give you $20 in your account to play your daily fantasy pick. So if you want to pick Dak Prescott to go over his passing yards because he's playing at an MVP level, just use Sleeper. And also, if you want to make a deposit, use the code CFO. Sleeper will match 100% up to $100. So download Sleeper, get your free $20 to play daily fantasy sports, and also use the code CFO to get 100% up to $100 on your match. And let's go get this money, gang.